Hey, good morning, guys. It is April 30th. Chambers is in 1 Corinthians 13 today, which is the love chapter. And I have to admit, it was tricky at first. I started reading it, and then I was like, wait, that doesn't, I'm not sure how to wrap my head around that. And so I had a little bit of a change of perspective today in reading Chambers. One of the things that we often say, I catch myself saying it, that love is a decision. He's talking about love here, obviously, being in 1 Corinthians 13, but Chambers would refute that. And I think it'd be more accurate to say love is a person, the person of the Holy Spirit, the person of Jesus. And then let me do this. I was reading that first paragraph, and what I would say to you, if you watch this before reading it, go down to the second paragraph. I think it's better to start that way. To start in the second paragraph, he says, "The springs of love are in God, not in us. It is absurd to look for the love of God in our hearts naturally. It is only there when it has been shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit." So that helps me understand the first chapter when he's talking about this spontaneity that love kind of springs up in us, that it's not premeditated, he says. And so that flies in the face of what I've said in years past when I tell people love is a decision, it's a commitment. And so I think the one thing that we need to realize is that, and this is the thing that Chambers is just so good at, is just the idea that as we empty ourselves of our own nature and it's replaced by the nature of God through the Holy Spirit, that we see these things that we sometimes attribute to our own growth and sanctification in a way that makes us feel like we are doing something, that we are building up something in us, that we are becoming better men, better women, that we are weightlifting, as it were, and becoming more muscular, more spiritually muscular. And that's kind of, that's a wrong-headed way of thinking about it. And so I've always thought about it, love that way, or not always, but I have a tendency to think about love. Love is a decision. I need to decide to be patient and kind and not envious and not boastful. I need to decide that. That's a decision. That's a commitment to those virtues. And love is not a virtue. Love is what Chambers would say here. It's this when His Spirit is having His way with us, we live according to His standard. It's His standard without knowing it. And on looking back, we're amazed at the this is a hard word, by the way, disinterestedness of a particular emotion. And so I think what Chambers is saying is, as we press into this commitment to know Him, that's the commitment we have, to know Him, be known by Him, allow Him to actually fill me in a way that that takes over my nature. I lay down my will and I take on His nature. That's when love actually manifests. Sorry if that was a roundabout way of getting to the. I think it's important that I think we think we're spiritual bodybuilders sometimes. I know I do, because I know with my body what it takes in the morning. I know what it takes if I get a little bit chubby, a little bit winded when I when I go up the stairs. I know what it takes. I can do some work. I can kind of grunt and groan every morning, work myself into a better version of me. And we sometimes do that with these gifts of the Spirit. You notice they're called the gifts of the Spirit. It's not called the benchmarks of a committed believer. That's not what he says. He says that the gifts of the Spirit. So love being among them. To think that I can work myself into this loving person is wrong-headed. If we try to prove God, he says here in the I'll get down to the last paragraph there. If we try to prove to God how much we love Him, it is a sure sign that we do not love Him. That's what I think. That's what was what's hard about when we look at the picture of Peter, and as Jesus challenges him, Peter, do you love me? And Peter says, you know I love you. And Peter is understanding love in a way that's, he's not quite wrapped his head around it yet. And I think that when Jesus leaves the Holy Spirit with them, Peter finally understood what love was and the ability to love. Um, so I'm trying to think. I wrote in here, is it possible to exhibit love? True love, sorry. Is it possible to exhibit true love without the Holy Spirit? And I think the answer to that is in 1 Corinthians 13. Um, all these things. I can speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love. I'm a resounding gong or clanging cymbal. And the truth is, um, love doesn't come naturally, obviously, and it's not a decision. It's a person. So anyway, you guys, let me know if you have other thoughts. You're welcome to comment, but yeah, have a great day.